They mentioned about amylose and cellulose, and the questions ask the student, with reference to the figure, state how the structure of cellulose molecule differs from the structure of an amylose molecule. So based on the question, do you write about cellulose or you write about the differences between cellulose and amylose? Based on the question, which one do you need to describe? Yi Hang, which one do you describe? Do you need to describe both the molecules or only one? Yi Hang, cellulose? Yes, correct, cellulose. So you only need to talk about the structure of cellulose, whichever structure there that is different. So read the question carefully so that you only need to write the answer that the question asks you to write. So you write minimum. Okay, so try to write minimum and score maximum. This is what you want to achieve in exam. How to write minimum? Only give what the question asks you to give. So this is called write minimum. And then how to score full mark? Give accurate, crystal clear answer. So these are only the two things you need to take care of. Write minimum, score maximum. Answer only the question. Right answer that's accurate and crystal clear. That's all. Then you will score the full marks. Okay, and you score 90 and above. So let's talk about cellulose. Okay, so cellulose is a straight chain, right? Versus amylose is coil. Okay, amylose is coil, so that's why it's straight chain. And then secondly, cellulose is made of beta glucose rather than alpha glucose. We also accept a student who write, oh, okay, the monomers are joined by beta 1,4 glycosidic bond versus alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond versus, don't have to write one, okay. Then one more, any other valid point, for example, you say, oh, cellulose got a lot of intramolecular hydrogen bonds. This is correct. Versus amylose will not have got intramolecular hydrogen bonds. Okay. And they do not arrange parallel to form intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Okay, next question is they ask you to describe why cellulose is suitable as a component of plant cell walls. 4 marks. So you're supposed to talk about how cellulose are arranged so that it can provide high tensile strength, so that it is suitable to act as a support medium in the cell wall. Okay, so usually first marking point the student give me is, it will, not this one, it will give high tensile strength, which is under any other word with the correct meaning. So cellulose have got high tensile strength. Of course, we must start with number 1. Cellulose molecules are all straight or linear. Because it is straight and linear, it can be arranged parallel to each other. So when they arrange parallel to each other, one bundle of cellulose molecules will form a microfibril. Okay, I'm very strict with microfibrils, not fibril. And then one bundle of microfibril arranged will form the fibers. Okay, and then cellulose molecules can form hydrogen bond. Now this one, the student didn't score mark because you didn't write molecule. Remember when you learn about the hydrogen bond, you said that there's a lot of intramolecular and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Now you need to spell out the hydrogen fully. So because of that, when you say, oh, there are a lot of hydrogen bond between cellulose molecules is the missing word. Molecules, without the word molecules, no mark. Okay. So this arrangement will make the fibers very strong. So it gives strength to the wall. How to give strength? It prevents the cell from bursting. So it allows the cell wall to withstand the turgor pressure. Okay. So reject only in the context of cellulose molecule. If you say that, oh, cellulose molecule is strong, therefore it can prevent the cell wall from bursting, then no mark. Why is it strong? It's because of this kind of arrangement here that makes it strong, not the cellulose molecule itself. It's how the cellulose have arranged into microfibrils to fibers that make the overall structure strong. So if the student just say, oh, it can prevent the cell from bursting, sorry, I cannot give you mark. It can prevent means you are saying cellulose can prevent. Cellulose cannot. Only the fibers can. Cellulose fibers can. Cellulose cannot. Because when you write cellulose, I don't know, are you referring to cellulose molecule, cellulose microfibrils, cellulose fibers? Which one? Crystal clear answer. So if you see cellulose, that means there are three possibilities. If three possibilities, that means some correct, some wrong. Some correct, some wrong means 0 mark in exam. That's how we mark. So you cannot give me a general answer. Okay. This one, no student give, but this is the very important answer. Now, you know that when cell wall is formed, right, we have got primary, secondary wall. So let me show you where. So when you learn about the cell wall, right? Oh, where is my this thing? Cell wall. Here. Here. Yeah. I think this one better. So look, when you've learned about cell wall, see this middle lamella, don't see them. This middle lamella. So this is a cell wall of the cell on the left, this cell wall of the cell on the right. They are made of layers. The first layer form is called primary wall, right? Then after that, during differentiation, during cell division, the cell wall form is called primary wall. Then after that, the secondary walls are formed during differentiation. See, got a few layers of secondary wall, and you see the line that they draw here are of different angles. Why different angle? Because they're trying to illustrate the fact that, you see, now let's say this primary wall. Now all the cellulose fibers are arranged parallel in the same layer. But when the second layer of wall is formed, the fibers of the cellulose fibers will still run parallel in the same layer, but a different angle to a different layer, right? And then the third layer also run at a different angle from the second layer and the first layer. So this is how different layer of cell wall, when it's being formed, the cellulose fiber will run in different direction. So that will make the wall stronger because of these fibers in different layers run in different directions, like the plywood. So it will make the whole cell wall become stronger, so it can withstand the turgor pressure, so the cell will not burst. So this is another very important point why the cell wall is strong. Okay, one last answer here, which is also very good that I want you to learn, is there are many gaps in the wall between the fibers, right? Let's say if these are the fibers running this way, right? Of course, there are a lot of gaps in between the fibers. The gaps are very important for movement of molecules, because the cell wall is the apoplast pathway for the water molecules and dissolved mineral ions to pass through. It is also a pathway for the uptake of material. For example, sucrose needs to be able to pass through, right? Sucrose from the source, okay, go into the companion cell. So therefore, the wall is freely permeable. Cell wall is freely permeable. Freely permeable. Why? Because there are gaps between the cellulose fibers to allow apoplast pathway and other molecules to pass through into the cell and out of the cell. Okay. Of course, one other valid point is that cellulose is insoluble, so it can be used as support medium. It will not dissolve in water. It's got many OH groups, so therefore can form a lot of hydrogen bonds. And one more mark given for those who write glucose rotates 180 degrees. This is only given 1 mark either in 2A or 2B. Okay, what do you mean by 2A and 2B? Sorry, I forgot to mention about these two. See, beta glucose are arranged 180 to each other. That means along the chain, right, which is made up of beta glucose. So this is the chain of beta glucose, right? Let's say this is carbon number, glucose number 6. Carbon number 6 on top, suddenly carbon number 6 at the bottom. Carbon number 6 on top, carbon number 6 at the bottom. So how to describe this arrangement is all the beta glucose are arranged rotated 180 degrees to each other. So this 180 degrees to this 180 degrees, this 180 degrees. Okay. Or you can say alternate glucose will rotate 180 degrees. That means this original, the alternate one, the second one, the fourth one, and so on, they rotate 180 degrees. So please learn how to describe crystal clearly.